Where I shut that stage light off.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did. I went to grab this and I didn't turn it off. I can get that.
I got it.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that.
That's my way of hiding. If they're sitting down there at high level, and they can see all the garbage I push. It's one of those things where you open the closet door and so shut the light off and it hides everything.
Yep.
That's how I clean.
I got rid of this.
Well, usually once they get vacation, it's probably waiting. How's that?
Hope you get up. Will there be anybody in this general area? I would try to find some alternate way. Okay. I don't know. I don't want to interpret. Very good. Thank you.
Charlie, one, two, raise your hand, one, two, three, two. I heard your dad.
Good morning, Palmer Elementary. Let's try that again. Good morning, Palmer Elementary. I think everybody's awake now. Okay. Welcome and good morning. I am Whitney Freege, and I am the very proud principal of A.F. Palmer Elementary School. I would like to welcome our students, staff, families, friends to our Q3 Black Knight recognition ceremony. We are so excited to have all of you here with us today to celebrate the accomplishments of all of our students. Before we continue, I'm going to invite our student council up to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So we have Brianna Soriano, Stella Fennessy, and Alina Smith. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so before we get started with our awards, I want you to remember that we need to be practicing our kind and respectful audience behavior. So remember that when we're listening to all of our friends get called up here, we need to listen to all the incredible things that your teacher said about them. So our voices are off, and our bottoms are in our seat, and our back is against the chair, okay? And we're gonna give all of our friends a nice round of applause once they're all standing up here, okay? So this month, our character traits included empathy, kindness, and perseverance. So empathy is the ability to share someone else's feelings or experiences by imagining what it would feel like to be in their situation. It's important to think about how our actions and words can make other people feel. Can you think of a time where you showed empathy for somebody else? Can you think of a time where you were thinking, I wonder what that makes my friend feel like? Okay, so we're gonna recognize some friends today that showed empathy. We're gonna also recognize friends that showed kindness. Kindness is being friendly and considerate of other people. It's doing something for someone else, even without being required to, and not asking for anything in return. Can you think of a time when you showed kindness here at school? That's one of our important school expectations, right? To be kind. So we're going to recognize some friends today that showed kindness. And then finally, our other character word is perseverance. So perseverance is the ability to keep going, even when something might feel really, really hard, and not give up. Can you think of a time where you did something that was really challenging and you kept going and going without giving up? That's perseverance. So today we're going to celebrate friends that showed perseverance here at school. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to start with our first grade student recognition. Mrs. Kinter and Mrs. Caldwell would like to recognize Grayson Shoemaker for perseverance. Mrs. Kinter said, Grayson has been working hard to persevere during math class. When things are difficult, he keeps trying and he finds a way to solve it. Mrs. Kinter would also like to recognize Aiden Pfister for kindness. Is he not here today? Oh, Aiden's not here today. Okay. Mrs. Dayton would like to recognize Hunter Hoyt for kindness and empathy. She says Hunter is a vivacious learner who independently helps his classmates when he notices he can help build their learning. Hunter adds great detail to our classroom discussions and is a role model, reader, writer, and mathlete. Aiden, come on up. We just read your name. Let's hear what Mrs. Kinter said about Aiden. She's recognizing him for kindness, and she said that Aiden is a kind student who likes to help others. He will pick up things that are not his and take care of them without being asked. And Mrs. Dayton would also like to recognize Hadley Liddick for kindness and perseverance. She says Hadley is a ray of sunshine. She eagerly enters each day with a cheerful smile and a compassionate heart. Hadley is a spontaneous helper throughout the day. If she sees something that needs to be done, she automatically jumps in to make sure our classroom is tidy and ready for the next transition. Hadley also perseveres in all her learning. Can we have a round of applause for all of our first graders? Congratulations. Okay, next up, we are going to recognize our kindergartners. So first up, Mrs. Beatty would like to recognize Kathy Vanderwerf for kindness and empathy. Kathy spreads kindness throughout our classroom all day, every day. Not only does she give the best hugs, Hadley is always willing to help a friend in need. Keep shining bright, Hadley. Mrs. Beatty would also like to recognize Dominic Teed. Dominic is being recognized for kindness and empathy. Dominic is a kind friend to everyone he meets. He is a quiet leader who leads by example. Dominic is always willing to help clean up or help a buddy stretch through a word. Keep being you, Dominic. Mrs. Stolarsik would like to recognize Quinn Newman for kindness and empathy. She says that Quinn models kindness and empathy in so many ways. She listens to friends when they are speaking, makes eye contact, and always speaks in a respectful tone. Quinn considers others' perspectives and considers how they might feel in various circumstances. Keep spreading kindness, Quinn. And finally, Mrs. Stolarsik would like to recognize Wyatt Knapp for kindness. Wyatt is a kind friend to all. He always uses his manners and says please and thank you. Wyatt is often heard helping peers with classroom tasks or talking with them about making good choices. Keep spreading kindness, Wyatt. Can we get a round of applause for all of our kindergartners? Congratulations. Next up, we have our UPK nominees. Ms. Andrews would first like to recognize Ava Harding for perseverance. She says that Ava works hard on every task that is given to her. If she doesn't understand something, she will ask for help. You are a true superstar, Ava. Keep up the good work. And Ms. Andrews would also like to recognize Evelyn Harvey. Evelyn is being recognized for showing kindness. Ms. Andrews says that Evelyn is a wonderful friend who shows kindness every day in pre-K. She uses kind words and is a role model for all. Keep shining bright, Evelyn. Round of applause for our UPK students. All right, congratulations. So next up, we are going to move into our special area recognitions because we have so many other teachers and staff members throughout our building. So we are going to start by recognizing, for PE, Mr. Potenza would like to recognize Hannah Ball. Hannah is being recognized for kindness. Mr. Potenza says that Hannah is always working her hardest in PE and is always lending her classmates a helping hand. Miss Saraceno would like to recognize in art class Honor Saxby for kindness. She says that Honor always compliments her classmates' artwork and shows kindness to others. All around the school, you can find Honor doing the right thing. She is such a sweet little artist, and I truly enjoy her and seeing what she will create. Mr. Brandon would like to recognize Riker Seeley in music for kindness and perseverance. Mr. Brandon says that Riker always brings a positive attitude and consistently does his best. He shows kindness by using nice words, and his manners are admirable. I am very lucky to be Riker's music teacher. Mrs. Stevens would like to recognize Elijah Barnum. Ms. Stevens says that Elijah joined our group and is a hard worker who always wants to do his best. He shows so much perseverance. Keep working hard and showing what you know, Elijah. Mrs. Abdullah would like to recognize Savera Matthews. Savera is also being recognized for showing perseverance. Mrs. Abdullah says that Savera has been working hard. She does not give up and she is anxious to read on her own. She has shown wonderful progress toward meeting her individual goals. And finally, Mrs. Munson would like to recognize Tegan Likens. Mrs. Munson says that Tegan is such a sweet and kind friend to everyone. She always puts others first and always tries to make sure everyone is happy in her speech group. She is such a hard worker, and I'm so proud of the progress she has been making. Keep being awesome, Tegan. Round of applause for all of these friends. Next up, we are going to recognize our classmates that are being recognized for the character traits in STEM. So the first student I'm going to call up is Henry Hilton, and he is being recognized by Mr. Thompson in coding for perseverance. Mr. Thompson says that Henry is working hard in coding and has completed the code.org course for the entire first grade. Next, Ms. Ashley would like to recognize Finch Chittister in coding class for showing perseverance. She says that Finch is such a hard worker and he always tries his best in coding class. Mr. Marcotte would like to recognize Logan Felker. He says that Logan is a kind and persistent young engineer. And Mr. Marcotte would also like to recognize Jude Klum for kindness and perseverance. He says that Jude is a kind and persistent young engineer. Can we have a big round of applause for our STEM recipients? All right, you can go back to your seat. Nice work. So the last set of awards that we have to give out today are for the bus. And so all of our bus drivers have recognized students on the bus that are riding safely. And I thought this would be a really good time to talk just a little bit about what that means. So a couple of things. When you're riding on the bus, it's very important that you get home safely. So the people that we're going to recognize today, they're following all of our school expectations on the bus. Okay? The other thing I want to remind you about is that these students that are going to come up here today, they're making sure that they're staying in their seat at all times. They're not standing up on a bus. So if you ride the bus, think about what that looks like. What does it look like to stay in your seat? Are you staying in your seat when you ride on the bus? Okay. It's important that you're keeping your hands and your feet to yourself so you're not touching anybody else or their belongings. You're keeping the aisle in the center clear. You're using kind words and actions. So you're only saying things that are kind, just like you're at school. And you're always listening to the bus driver, just like you listen to your teachers here at school. So the people that we're going to call up here today, they followed all of these expectations on the bus, and we're really proud of them for making smart choices and being safe. So when I call your name, you can come up here and line up on the risers, okay? The first student that we're going to recognize is Ava von Wolfersdorf. And the final student that is receiving a recognition for the school bus is Ava Harding. Can we get a nice big round of applause for our friends that are safe bus riding behavior? Okay, so that brings us to the end of our award ceremony. Can we make one more big round of applause for all of our friends that received our recognition today? We are so proud of your hard work, and we hope that you'll keep up all of the awesome things you're doing all the way through the end of the year. We have one more recognition ceremony, so you could be recognized at the next ceremony, okay? All right, so we'd like to thank everyone for coming out this morning, being here to support your students at our school. We will dismiss at this time, and I would just ask if parents would just kind of wait until the kids have been able to get out so that we don't have a lot of congestion in the back, and then you can exit out the back the same way you came in. Thanks again for being here today.
Hunter and Hadley, if you come in here and you want to hand them your certificate, yeah, that's okay. Bring your money. All right, Hunter, come on up. You can be lively or everyone just make sure that you're
I know it's not that. I know, like all year. Nana, are you down? No. Graham. Yeah, no, I'm glad you introduced yourself. Well, take care. Thank you.
I mean, they can sit here just as long as they don't.
No, he said you were missing. You know you can Charlotte's mom is here. Grandma. Matthew.
I'm doing some work while
Baby came back from our lake. Grandma's gonna be up there. Hey, this place. Wait, hold on. I do this. It's slower. subscribers I'll get that subscription? How many subscribers?
Be on there.
This has gone on for 37 minutes.
There was another ceremony. The younger.
The last one but actually, what Jesus? Actually, oh yeah. I would. We have one person watching. What you want? Bro, one person watching. Yes, this is bro, you can see the YouTube. One person watching still. Can you see the YouTube? This one person watching live. This one person watching Wait, three people we're getting recorded in 3 It's like nothing.
Amazing. What? Not yet.
Good morning, Palmer Elementary. That was pretty good. I just want to make sure that everybody's awake. Good morning, Palmer Elementary. That was a little better. All right, good morning. Welcome to our Q3 night recognition ceremony. I am Whitney Friege, and I am very proud to be the principal of AF Palmer Elementary School. I would like to welcome our staff, our students, our families, our friends, all here today to celebrate the accomplishments that our students have achieved over the course of the third quarter. Before we continue our ceremony, I'd like to ask our student council representatives to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Cassius Hudson, Kane Beeman, and Emily Maurer. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so this morning we're going to be recognizing students and friends here at school that demonstrated our character traits for the months in the third quarter. So those character traits included empathy, kindness, and perseverance. So first, empathy. Empathy is the ability to share someone else's feelings or experiences by imagining what it would be like to be in that person's shoes or in that person's situation. It is always important to think about how our actions make others feel. And that's something that we talk a lot about here, is when you're doing something or saying something, being aware of how that is making others feel around you. Next, kindness. Kindness is being friendly and considerate of other people. It's doing something for someone else, even if you're not required to do so, and without asking for anything in return. Being kind to one another is one of our most important school expectations, and it's something that everybody should be doing here every single day. Finally, perseverance is the ability to keep doing something even when it might get challenging. People who persevere do not give up, despite how hard or long it takes to reach a goal. Can you think right now of a time, or even something here at school, where you have continued to persevere and not give up when something got hard? Probably most days, right? So when things get hard and you don't give up, that's showing perseverance. So we're going to be recognizing students that did these things throughout the building during quarter 3. We're going to start by recognizing our 5th grade students. So I'm going to ask if your name is called, that you come and you stand up around the risers. We'll hold our applause until all of those students are up here. It will give me an opportunity to read all of the incredible things that your teacher said about you, and then we'll take your picture and you can go back. Okay? So Mrs. Lang would like to recognize Corbin Root for kindness and perseverance. She says Corbin is rocking 5th grade in every way imaginable. Corbin perseveres through all assignments and is showing so much growth. He is also kind to everyone he encounters. Mrs. Lane would also like to recognize Miles Torres for kindness. Miles is truly the kindest student I have ever met. He never has an unkind word to say about anyone or anything, even tough assignments. Mrs. DeMarco would like to recognize Jameson Sherman for kindness and empathy. Jameson exudes kindness, she says. His smile lights up the room. He is a role model for his peers, and when he makes comments like, "I don't care where my new seat is as long as I have somewhere to sit." Keep spreading that kindness, Jameson. And finally, Mrs. DeMarco would like to recognize Stella Fennessy for kindness and perseverance. She says that Stella is a very sweet girl, and I really enjoy working with her. Stella has shown so much growth. She has a great sense of humor, and she is willing to work, take constructive criticism, and then make revisions. Keep on growing, Stella. Big round of applause for our 5th graders. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our 4th grade. First up, Mrs. Mary Williams would like to recognize Mackenzie Callie for kindness. Mackenzie shows kindness to people around her in all sorts of ways. She is a great listener and thoughtful friend. She even took time during a 2-hour delay to prepare a treat for every single person in her classroom. Mrs. Mary Williams would also like to recognize Emma Schaefer. Emma is an extremely hard worker. She has a positive attitude and never gives up on any task. When things get difficult, Emma focuses until she succeeds. Keep it up, Emma. Mrs. Vanderwerf would like to recognize Charlie Hyras for perseverance. Charlie works hard throughout all parts of her day. She never gives up, even when something may be challenging. I am so proud of her. Ms. Vanderwerf would also like to recognize Richard Hart for kindness. Richard's kindness towards all of his classmates is so heartwarming to watch. He truly roots for everyone and helps those who need anything. Big round of applause for our 4th graders. now we're gonna move to our third grade. Mrs. Whiting would like to recognize Deacon Sherman for kindness. Deacon is a model of kindness in the third grade. Deacon treats his classmates with kindness and respect every day. He goes out of his way to help his peers or to praise their accomplishments. Keep spreading your sunshine, Deacon. Mrs. Whiting would also like to recognize Ella Okaneka. Ella is being recognized for perseverance. Mrs. Whiting says that Ella has grown leaps and bounds this school year. Ella perseveres when a task gets tough, and she radiates with happiness and pride when she overcomes a challenge. Her smile when she achieves her goal brightens my day. Mrs. Briga would like to recognize Isabella Da Silva. Isabella is being recognized for kindness. Mrs. Briga says that Bella shows kindness in many ways throughout the school day. Bella is always the first person to volunteer to help anyone who needs it. Keep spreading kindness, Bella. And finally, Mrs. Briga would like to recognize Zoe Garcia for perseverance. She says that Zoe never gives up, no matter how much of a challenge she is facing. Zoe has a positive attitude when it comes to work that may be difficult, and she meets every challenge with an open mind. Way to go, Zoe. Big round of applause for our third graders. Okay, next up is our second grade. So first, Mrs. Leach would like to recognize JC Sukan for kindness. JC models kindness throughout the entire day. She is polite and helpful to her peers. She is also a great listener and always shows respect. Mrs. Leach would also like to recognize Hartley Bourne for kindness. She says that Hartley shows kindness to everyone every day. She is quick to help her classmates out with any task. Her kind and cheerful personality brings a smile to my face every day. Mr. Testa would like to recognize Liam Buram for kindness. Liam shows kindness throughout his day. He has helped so many in our class when they have needed it. Mr. Testa would also like to recognize Clara Hunter. Clara is also being recognized for kindness, and Mr. Testa says that Clara is very helpful to her class. She is constantly helping her classmates out when they need it most. Her classmates are very thankful for her. Big round of applause for our second graders. Okay, so the next part of our ceremony, we are going to recognize students that are being nominated from our special areas. So these are things like art, music, and PE. So to start us off, Mr. Potenza in PE would like to recognize Christopher Brooks for kindness. He says that Chris is always working his hardest in PE and is always lending his classmates a helping hand. Mr. Brandon would like to recognize in music, Mila McCombs for kindness and perseverance. He says that Mila always works hard and her dedication does not go unnoticed. She always speaks kindly to others and is always a supportive friend and classmate. Ms. Saracino would like to recognize from art class, Brianna Soriano for kindness. She says Brianna is a ray of sunshine. Not only is she an awesome little artist, but but she brings a smile to everyone she is around. Her giggle is contagious, and it is so much fun being her art teacher. Thank you for bringing a smile to my day. Mrs. Stevens would like to recognize Brian Henley for kindness. She says that Brian is always a good friend. When he joins any group he is part of. He is also very appreciative of any support he has provided. Brian, your kindness never goes unnoticed. Mrs. Murphy would like to recognize Hunter Gibbons for perseverance. She says that Hunter has shown great perseverance and as a result, great growth in many areas of reading and writing. He has been working on using strategies that help him learn best and grow as a learner. Keep making good choices and persevering to be your best, Hunter. Mrs. Murphy would also like to recognize Charlotte Monroe. Charlotte is being recognized for kindness and perseverance. Mrs. Murphy says this quarter, Charlotte has been persevering toward meeting her individual goals while showing support to her peers as they work toward their own goals. She has been giving hugs, high fives, and words of encouragement to others, all of which make for a positive and supporting learning community. Mrs. LeClaire would like to recognize Erin Gould for kindness. She says that Aaron has demonstrated kindness when he has allowed other students to line up in front of him. He encourages group mates, and he often switches items with a peer who wants a specific colored item. Mrs. Trito would like to recognize Hannah Dixon for kindness and perseverance. Mrs. Trito says that Hannah is an all-around amazing student and individual. Her kindness knows no bounds. She is a caring friend, a hard-working student, and simply put, a joy to be around. Even when personal struggles come her way, she is always able to persevere and still show up every day with a smile on her face and a positive attitude. Can we have a huge round of applause for all of these? Okay, next on our agenda is student recognition for STEM area classes. So these are classes like coding, Project Lead the Way, and science. So Mrs. Calafoda would like to recognize Kaylee Teed for kindness. She says that Kaylee comes to science with a smile, she works hard, listens well, is respectful, and is always willing to help. Mrs. Calafoda would also like to recognize Nico Rook for kindness and perseverance. She says that Nico loves STEM challenges. He doesn't give up when things get tough. He is a role model, showing respect and kindness to all. Mrs. Mulcahy LaChance would like to recognize Ethan Drake for problem solving and perseverance. She says that Ethan is driven to solve problems and never considers quitting when the engineering design problem is tough. He has done an outstanding job this quarter, designing and building electrical circuits in engineering. Mrs. Mulcahy LaChance would also like to recognize Olivia Hands for problem solving. She says Olivia is an outstanding problem solver when it comes to electrical engineering. She worked diligently with snap circuits and now with traditional wire in engineering series and parallel circuit devices with motors, lights, and more. Next up, we have Corbin Root. Corbin is being recognized by Mrs. Mulcahy LaChance for problem solving and perseverance. She says Corbin puts his nose to the grindstone and jumps into his engineering design. He's a determined problem solver and fixer. Corbin is eagerly beginning the design of the 3-motor Vex Rise Above robot. I have no doubt he can do it and that he will add his own design features to make it even better. Mr. Thompson would like to recognize for coding Kale Conklin Maycomer for perseverance. Kale works hard in coding and has made great progress this year in the Code.org course. Mr. Thompson would also like to recognize Finn Leach for perseverance. He says that Finn too works hard in coding and has made great progress in this year's Code.org course. Ms. Ashley would like to recognize Axel Rainey for kindness. She says Axel is always helpful on tasks when in coding class. She would also like to recognize Mackenzie Callie for perseverance. She says that Mackenzie is persistent and has a never give up attitude. She is doing an excellent job in coding class. And that is our STEM recipients. Can we give them a big round of applause? Okay, so the last part of our award ceremony this morning is going to be recognizing students who have exceeded expectations on the school bus. And I thought this would be a really good time to take a second to think about what it looks like to be a safe and responsible rider on the school bus. So how many of you ride the school bus to and from school each day? So that's a lot of friends that are riding on the school bus, right? You can put your hands down. So the bus driver's job is to get you to and from school safely. And you just saw all of the people and all of our friends that ride on the school bus, right? So it's really important that when you're riding on the bus, that not only are you following all of the expectations that you're expected to follow here at school, but there's some others that are really important to make sure that your bus ride is safe, right? And that everybody feels comfortable getting on the school bus and getting a ride to or from school. So everybody that we're going to recognize today is being recognized because they're doing all of these things. So I want to take a minute and read through them with you, okay? So first and foremost, we're expected to follow the exact same expectations that you follow right here at school right now. So do you see how you're sitting right now and you're being quiet and respectful? And you're doing an awesome job? That's exactly how you should be sitting on the school bus, okay? It's important that you are remaining seated at all times. Should you ever be standing up on the school bus if the bus is moving? No. Okay? Your bottom should be in the seat, not your feet on the seat. Okay? You need to make sure that you're keeping your hands and your feet to yourself, that you're not touching others and you're not touching others' belongings. Okay? It's important that you're using kind words. Words that you wouldn't say here at school should not be being said on the school bus. okay? You shouldn't be name calling or saying words that are inappropriate, right? We want to make sure that we're being kind and we're being respectful. And finally, it's really important that you listen to your bus driver, right? Just like you're listening to me right now, just like you listen to adults in our building, your bus driver is going to need to give you important directions. So it's really important that you're listening to them. So I'm really excited to recognize the people that are going to be recognized here today because I'm proud to know that they're following these expectations on the school bus. So without further ado, I'm going to call the following students up and then we will give them a round of applause at the end. So Miss Molly would like to recognize Mariah Hillier. Mr. Skinner would like to recognize Kale Conlin Maycomer. Miss Becca would like to recognize Jeremy Round. Mr. Brown would like to recognize Emma Schaefer. And Mr. Chuck would like to recognize Kira Wheeler. So again, if you ride the bus with any of these fine folks and you're not sure what the behavior on the bus should look like, you can look at any one of these people standing up here today because they're making sure that they're making the bus ride safe. All right, let's give them a big round of applause. Okay, and that concludes our Q3 Nice Recognition Ceremony today. So I first want to say thank you to all of our Palmer students that sat quietly and showed respect while their friends were being honored here today. I also want to thank all of our family and friends that came out this morning to be here to support your student and to support our school and to hear all of the accomplishments that we have had here over the course of the third quarter. Remember, there's one quarter left. That's just as important as all the others. So you could be an individual that's getting a chance to stand up here at our next ceremony. Okay? So thank you for showing respect today. And we will dismiss starting at this time. And I would just ask that family members and friends, if you could just hold off on exiting until the kids have gotten out and you can make your way out the doors that you came in this morning. Have a great day, everybody.